Hi there, I'm Andrea Koppel, and it's time for coffee, the podcast where you get to hear firsthand what the jobs and careers that interest you the most are really like. Hey there, Java junkies. Welcome to another K-Cup mini episode of Time for Coffee. By the way, K-Cups come in 3 sizes, single, double, and triple shots, or roughly 1 minute, 5 minutes, or 10 minutes in length. So if you don't have time to throw back an entire caffeinated career conversation, these K-Cup mini episodes of T4C can give you a quick caffeinated fix, whether you're on the go or you only have a few minutes to binge. So grab your mug and take a chug, because it's time for a caffeinated career double shot K-Cup with my guest, Lisa Witter. So Lisa, in your bio, you describe yourself as an autodidact. And for those like me who may have forgotten what that means, yes, I did have to look it up. It means being self-taught. Why is learning on your own so important to you? And lessons for our young listeners, some of whom may have already graduated and think that school and learning is behind them for the rest of their lives, are important for them to pursue?
Well, a little bit of it is my personal story, and a little bit is just a fact about the state of the world right now. But my personal story is I grew up in Everett, Washington. I'm the first in my family to go to college. There weren't a lot of books in my house. It just wasn't an interest to my mom and dad. They're amazing human beings. We spent time outdoors, and I was the most loved. But knowledge and reading wasn't a big part of our childhood. I remember we had a set of encyclopedias, and I would just read them over and over again because I was so precocious and curious about the way the world was. And I went off to college, and like I said, I was the first to go, and I would come back and my parents were like, "Oh, why are you going to college? You could be getting a good job here." And I decided to go right from college. I was going to go to law school. My mom's like, "I don't think law school's for you." And I ended up taking a different path, which we could talk about later if it makes sense. But I didn't go off and get a graduate degree. And I've really decided to take a path that I was going to learn by doing. And when I couldn't learn by doing, I was going to learn by learning. And for the last 25 years, I've probably read 50 books a year. I love it. And now podcasts have come around that I'm addicted to. And it just works for my life to learn in a self-paced way and by people who I respect in modalities that work for me. So, and you can't be good at your job anymore. It's an interview question I ask all the time. I say, "What are you reading?" And if people aren't reading anything and they don't show some hunger and curiosity in their lives, like if they're not naming podcasts or books or some course they're taking on Coursera or hopefully Apolitical, I get worried that it won't fit into our culture, because if you don't know how to do something, you need to teach yourself. Now, that doesn't work for brain surgery or heart surgery, but for a lot of things, you can at least teach yourself most of the way. Expertise is still really valuable, but you can teach yourself a lot.
So when you were in school and you graduated from UC Santa Cruz in California, what did you study? What was your major? And did you know what you were going to do with that degree when you graduated?
I had no idea what I was going to do. I studied politics, not political science. I chose that school because we had a very open, very multidisciplinary syllabus. So just where you took your courses from. Angela Davis taught history of consciousness. There was a strong psychology program, a strong environmental program, gender studies program. It was very contemporary in how I saw the world. I had no idea what I was going to do, and I've never worried about what I was going to do with my career. I just kept doing things that I loved. And I've made money along the way doing that. Someone's always paid me, and it's so nice because I remember even my first job, I couldn't believe that I got paid to do it. It's like, wow, I love it. It's fun. I'm making a difference, and people pay me. This is so cool. So I've been very, very lucky that way.
What was that first job, and how did you get it?
I've always worked. Always. Everything from basketball referee to, serving tacos at our local Mexican restaurant. I've always wanted to work and had to work. And I like being busy. It's funny, the older I am, the less busy I like, but I definitely like being busy. The first really meaningful job I had was I got very lucky and I got chosen to work at a leadership training institute in Washington State in the city of Seattle, which is where I'm from. And I got to get paid to grow my leadership skills and meet the most extraordinary people who were building Microsoft and Boeing and Amazon, all these companies. And we're all doing it with a very social lens. I sat next to Bill Gates' father, learning about servant leadership and community service and financial planning. And I got very lucky, and I was tapped from that job to go into my first government job, which was a special assistant to a city council member. So I just got and I didn't go into that leadership job to be tapped to go into this next job. Like, just doors kept opening up because I was open to it and very present. And I was excellent, hopefully, at what I did. And I kept being tapped for jobs. I've been really lucky in that path and worked hard, frankly.
Thanks for tuning in to this K-Cup mini episode of Time for Coffee. If you want to listen to our entire caffeinated career conversation, please check out the show notes for this episode. Thanks so much for listening to Time for Coffee, where the professionals in the jobs that most interest you always have time to grab coffee 24/7, no matter where you live. I have one quick favor to ask you. Remember to rate, review, and subscribe to Time for Coffee. Thanks so much.